Hey, YouTubers, it's your boy Domination. This is back on the base that you're gonna do since I would do text, baby. And again, the only place, 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 only place gonna get it. Only place gonna get it is right back on the base that you're gonna do since I would do text, baby. Man, I know it's back. You know what it is, know what it is, know what it is. Real men rise up, fake men rise down. Real women rise up, fake women rise down. Part the word preach and preach on. And today's topic we're gonna talk about is today's topic I want to talk about today that do we have a do we have a common enemy? If y'all don't know what that is, do we have uncommon with the enemies that we had? You got to know who your enemies are. Can you relate to why they became the evil at the and being evil and valiant and evil way they is? What I'm saying to this, man, they always say you got to know who your friends are, but who your enemies are. See, the thing is, I know who my friends is. I never forget the ones that's there. Even though you ain't appreciate, but you gotta appreciate and do the same thing to them. At least you try to. They try to be there for you. You try to be there for them. But you better know who your enemies are, because they better know who their enemies is. Because it's always close. It's always the ones that's dear and hold close to you. It's always the closest dear to you, the one that kill you. Because it happens to this too many times. You hear about people what they say, especially ladies. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Fellas, y'all know what I mean about this as well. Because you got to be careful who the people you interact in your company. A large scale. You got to have a small scale of people, but a large scale, get out of that because chances are you being used and being user. You gonna get used every time, and people don't want you to see you having anything. Even if you are rich or poor or middle class, even the ones that don't want to have anything, but the person they go at the most is always the poor or middle, but mostly the poor. Rich, not very much. They only hate them because they got everything they have, but deep down they want the same thing they got. And then you got rich people look down on everyone who don't have the things they got, but they know how hard it is when they don't have nothing. My point is this, and then you got middle class don't want to be rich or poor. They just get by. They go on by what their lives. That's middle class. They in the middle just working what for themselves and by themselves. Know what I'm saying? But I say this, man, because a lot of times you hear stuff like that. You hear stuff like that all the time. I never forget. I learned one thing I learned about my father and my uncle. My uncle always told me, "Men, you rule the money. Don't let the money rule you." And that's true. Because once the money rule you, you can't hold, you can't control over that money. The money gonna control over you. But once you can rule that money, you can control that money because money can't control you. But my say to this, because most majority of people are guilty of that. Because quite a few people don't think like that, and I know I am. When you hear people say majority and minority, what does majority means? Majority means in the larger scale, people that got something, people that have the achievement that have a greatness they have in their life. But those are the most people that it could be Republicans. Republicans looking down on folks all the time, and but they wouldn't like if somebody looking down on them. The only thing they supposed to look up to them, but when they look down, but down discouragement of them, they don't like that. They don't like that. Most majority of people think like this, even if they won't admit this or not. What they say, free will of power. People got to be careful when people say free will because free will means you free for whatever doing what the hell you want to do. That's what you're saying. But you gotta doing what you're supposed to do because it comes to that great power gift. It comes to that great responsibility comes with that. Don't ever forget that, majority people. Don't forget that it's a will of will of well-being and the will enough to have a will of fire. Have the fire and passion in you. Minority means loser. That's what I like minority because minority meant you will lose. You don't achieve anything. You don't achieve for greatness. Your lack of communication, lack of self knowledge and of knowledge of anything. That's what they're saying. Because don't let anybody, and I mean anybody, people. I don't care if you're white trash or nigger, cracker, or man or woman or bitch or man whore, whatever. Don't let nobody call you minority, because minority means you're a loser. That's what it means when people say minority. But majority means you got something. See, Democrats and Republicans, like Democrats, that's minority, and a majority is Republican. But they come from the same dirty ass birds like everybody else. Why you think they go against the red and red go against the blue? Because they represent blue represent a fiction and fictional an illusion, and red represent is the reality of harsh a reality of this hardship and hardship of life. Some people just don't want to deal with that, because I'm guaranteed, man, people have a common enemy, because they always say love your enemies, man, and that's true. Love your enemies. That's just the way it is. But the question is, have the enemies love you? Good people need to start thinking about that. They need to think about that for a second, because Jesus and Lucifer are brothers. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's there. This is why a lot of Christian people know this, but they don't want to say anything. Because they don't want people looking down on them, because they're the reason why all these interact with the world was going on. Not to blame Christianity or blame Satan or blame nobody. This is a real reason why these things are happening. These are reason why. What the cause of spread of dialogue of rumors of wars is causing matter destruction and production of drugs and digament of gold mine, a digament of digament of gold, plant the gold mine of goldism. And they always say this: ones who can ones who can control the gold, ones who can control all the access to anything. And one is to pump how much oil and oil being pumping to fill up the gas, and gas and pumping the oil off the coast coast. This is why all these things are going on. In revelation, we in revelation right now, and making a witness perception, because people be prepared, because anytime, any moment, we're gonna make it through to these hard times right now, because right now you got concomitant enemy. It could be war, it could be chaos, or it could be corruption, or it could be love, love, family, friends, honor, respect, loyalty, and humanity, and unity. That's what it's about. All this about corruption and war and chaos and betrayed and this envy means, worship somebody, but you really worship God, because man created by races, man created by religion, man created by transmitted sexual disease. And I ain't talking about the up and rise of hand of man, the up and falling of false of man, false of manlyhood. That's what I'm talking about. That's why all these things are going on. But let me tell you something again, though. Like I said, do I know everything? No. I just know with every thoughts in my head, and every little chances I get, and bring a little bit more of it. Well, but it's come through deep down in my heart, because you gotta open up, that third eye, and see everything clearly, and make unclear. And that's the only way you can beat what's out there in this evil, this world. It's not who you are; it's what you choose to be. It doesn't matter if a person is good or evil. It's ever the choice they make. If it could, it could it could make peace between the from fault, peace and die on the allies between good and evil, because they all come from the same of the family blood off. Let's be honest. God have children, devil has children. But this is the truth. This is why all these things are going on. You ever sit down and wonder why these things are cause happening in the news? You ever sit down and wonder why these things happen in your community, why these things are happening to your life and everybody else's life? Because it's the sins they got to avoid, before they won't get involved in sin. That's why God hate the sin, but not God hate the sin, but not the sinner. You the sinner, man. You try to avoid sin. You want to be center of attention for being feel your purpose with being with the Lord. You know, and do whatever Lord favor what God ever commanded it with. But if you do the devil's favor and unfavorment, you're gonna get despiteful and deceitful, and you got what's coming to you. Any man and woman who knows what the hell I'm trying to get at. But my point is this: that just be aware who your common enemy is and who and what's your main purpose on your main purpose, what you here and what you brought here for. Because you brought here to bring people together or bring people undivided untogether. So give me your comment, give me your give me your comment, give me your videos, and give me your comment, give me your response and tell me what you think of this common enemy. Because the question is, everybody knows their common enemy. I know my common enemy. Who your common enemy? It could be to you or anyone else or your friends, family, or someone, or to yourself or yourself only. Nothing else. Look for deceitful, but not perceived to be deceitful. And that's all I gotta say about that. It's your boy Domination. This is Back in the Base, the Chuck of the Deuces. How we do it, Tex Baby. Until next time, alright? Alright. Peace, and I'm out.